Greetings, fellow traders. Bubblehead here, and it's time for the lunchtime market update for Wednesday, November 13th, 2019. And I hope everybody's having a great day. Let's before we get started here, everything we're going to talk about is for educational purposes only and not investment advice. So please take a moment to review this disclaimer before we get started. All right, let's take a look here and see what's going on with the SPX. We know that the monthly chart, right, is still working up off of the prior monthly hammer. So we're a little bit green right now. It's been a choppy day, to say the least, right? Weekly chart right now is still holding green at the upper levels, right? We got a little bit scary there. We actually gapped down for the first time in a while, which is pretty rare these days. And of course, it came back up and buy the dip, right? So back above the trend line right now. Let's take a look at the price action and how that's holding. Obviously, we're still holding the channel here, the geometric channel. Let's take a look. So we have our price action here today. It was a gap down, right? Big flush at the open, got a little scary right there, and then boom, they bought the dip on that one, held these key levels right here, and then finally put a push through and got up to our key levels here. Upper shadow, tested again, boom, big move up. That big move up like this is pretty important, right? That shows you, right, that hey, this thing wants to try to work higher. Of course, the next level here is a prior day's close and then daily pivot. So then it pushed above here, and now it's kind of in this kind of no man's land type zone. So without some major news, right, it's tough to get a catalyst to go here, especially if there's selling pressure at a lot of these areas from the previous day. So these are the things that we're looking at. Of course, today we've Powell is talking today, right? There's impeachment stuff going on, so it's interesting to see the market rally on all this type of activity, but it is what it is. So let's take a look at some of the interesting activity that happened today. So Amazon is one of them, right? So underneath it all, right, Amazon is showing some relative weakness, right? It had a weak opening bar right here. Upper shadow, quick tag of our trend line that we use, okay? And it's then working its way down, hit the 15 orb a couple times, and then finally flushed down to 1759. Honestly, I only thought it was going to get to the 1765 today, so any lower than that was really just an added bonus. And it had trouble getting above that, so definitely something to keep in mind. So that was an interesting one. Another one that was that ended up being a nice breakout here was Roku. Roku with a pretty big 15 orb this morning gave like one pullback here right to our cloud, and then we had we saw a 15 orb break just now, so that was a nice move off of that as it filled an open gap above. And keep in mind, these key levels right here are very important, right? You can see how it tested this level like up and then down. These are levels that we provide to our group, so just good stuff there. Another interesting one today, of course, Disney. Right, so Disney was just kind of okay, whatever, just chopping around, whatever on the on this Disney Plus news that, oh yeah, by the way, we had like 10 million subscribers, and then just up there. So what did that do? It affected Netflix. Okay, and so Netflix had a nice flush here, and we have a tool right here that allows us to capitalize on this snapback, right? So it's a little thing we call the Crazy Ivan in our group, and so that had a nice move up there, and then of course it's coming back down to the levels right here. So so we'll see how Netflix ultimately plays out in the long run. So we kind of had our eyes on this one too, just based on some of the macro trends that we look at. So. Other than that, Goose was one of the earnings from this morning that was pretty interesting, right? That was just a plop and drop right there. So it was actually pretty interesting, right? They gapped it up here, right, on earnings, and then apparently the conference call didn't go too well. So how not to have a conference call, right? And then it basically just started flushing the open. When you see these kind of flushes into the open, right, it's definitely something to keep concerned about, right? And so here we had this upper shadow right here, right at the open, big shooting star to open, and then boom, big flush down here, formed the 15 orb quickly, and then kept on dropping, right? So that was a pretty significant move there on Goose today. So other than that, I mean, not too much else. I mean, LK was an interesting one that has just been just kind of chopping around, and D-Dog had some pretty good earnings move today. So that gave a very convincing opening bar right here. If you guys look at the 15-minute chart, so very, very convincing bar here. Easy entry off of the 15 orb up. We love these on earnings, right? Got over the pre-market box, which is this guy right here. Okay, off the 15 orb, so that gives you a nice move there. So entry about 40.71 to 41.92. So nice 1 point move off of that. So just little things that, to get the cash flow going and pay the bills. That's the idea. So hope you guys find this helpful. I will see you guys at the market recap later, and enjoy the rest of your trading day. Remember your risk first and stay safe so you can stay in the game. And I'll talk to you soon.